Alright, so welcome. This is a painting of the reverse flash I did in Procreate on my iPad Pro. This was initially just going to be a rough sketch to get the pose down for a traditional medium commission I'm doing for Heroes Con. But I had some time to kill, and in that time I decided to go ahead and paint it and explore some more options that I have in the application. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just getting the building blocks of the figure. Always have to do that to get it down. Now I've slowed this down quite a bit from the normal speed so I can have some actual chance to talk. As you can see, I'm building things up slowly, pulling the arm in, trying to get a running position, which was requested, and just getting the general feel of the figure. I'm using just a graphite pencil in Procreate at this point, kind of red just to get a different color. And now I've brought in some a reference photo that was provided. One thing I didn't like immediately was that his forearm was covering part of his face, and I didn't really want to cover his face at all. But I also wanted to make sure the emblem showed. So I will eventually start looking at readjusting that arm and hand as I go to the next level. Now at this point I've made the first layer dim down, and I've started up a new layer, lowered the opacity on the first one. Now I'm going back in with a black pencil. Again, anytime I reference any of the tools here, I'm talking about digital, not real. So this black graphite pencil, I think it was a HB in the application. I'm just using it to elaborate a little bit on the line work that I've done. And I've decided that hand just looked a little too flat, so I've kind of brought it up more. And as I continue to just kind of change things a little bit as I go, decided that his body was just a little too scrunched, so by using a lasso tool I was able to take the top part and move him up just a little bit and then fill in between. What's nice about working digital is that it can be done that way. Otherwise, if this was a pencil drawing, I'd be erasing a whole lot of work and starting over again on those sections. Brought another reference here just to kind of take a look at what the costume is doing at the bottom half as I try to put this together. Now this is where I went a little further. I decided I would go ahead and kill some time while I sat at the car dealership and my car was being serviced. I'd just go ahead and see about painting it. Now, I say painting, but I don't think I'm really using too many paint brushes. I'm using a ink pen with a very wide tip to start blocking in color in just a few moments. Right now I'm still trying to get that figure down as tight as possible. This costume is so much more complex than anything that they had in the comics when I was reading the Flash and the Reverse Flash was around. There's a lot of little parts that overlay each other on the shoulders and around the sides. The way the hood works, and the knee pads, and the little red highlights down at the bottom on the boots. So right here again, I'm just tightening up some more. You really want to have your line work solid before you start going in and doing anything else, whether you're going to ink it or you're going to paint it, because if you don't and you start guessing it, it can become a mess and you'll end up starting over. So right there, I did not like the way that lightning insignia was showing up, so I just moved it to the side to reference as I redrew it again. And now, with that hand adjustment, the forearm adjustment, now his face is showing good. And I didn't want his other hand to be all straight and flat, so it's a little bit of a claw-like thing. So here's where I'm using a pastel tool, actually. I am blocked in the black on top of the yellow, and using different amounts of pressure, I'm either getting a really heavy dark or I'm getting a light dark. And it kind of looks like sketching with a pencil or pastel on paper. I'm just kind of blocking in those areas that are blacker than that's overlaying the yellow. I didn't want to go completely black. My feeling was it's essentially a yellow costume that's been almost like singed or something, because it does look, well, it looks airbrushed but on the photos, but it does look like it's supposed to be singed or dark or I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it does look pretty cool. So there's little incremental things going on here. I'm cleaning up some of the color that's outside of the line because I'm going to put this green background, popping that yellow out a little bit. And of course the glowy eyes that the reverse flash has in the TV show. And just kind of finishing up little details here and there. Like I said, I'm going to clean up some of the yellow around his leg. And now I'm doing some of the blue lightning that comes off of him. I didn't want to make traditional looking lightning. I wanted it to look more staticky, more like almost, kind of like almost a flame kind of thing, a glow, like there was motion. You get too detailed with lightning, it starts to look like a graphic element more than an actual bolt of lightning. So I thought this worked out pretty good. But there, I thought he just looked a little bit too static, standing straight up. And again, here it is. What's nice about working in digital is you do have the opportunity to make some changes with a little bit of a rotation here and cleaning up some of that background. I've used a different brush here to get some texture going on back there again, and I wasn't worried about it covering everything completely. And there we have it, the reverse flash. I hope this was interesting. I welcome any feedback. Thank you, folks.